In a social media campaign, time is an important element. One element of time that is important is the duration. How long will your campaign be? Now, of course, there's no one simple answer that fits all sorts of campaigns. It depends if it is an information campaign that is leading to a climax at one point. So you need to make decisions about how much before that event. Sometimes, if a campaign is going to be long, especially spread over a number of months, one might decide to divide that campaign into a number of sequences, into a number of phases. And in that case, one needs to decide how long these phases are going to be and how many of them intensify because you're getting closer to the event that you are aiming for. It could be so that your audience does not get bored. It could be that your message needs to change because in the second phase you have more, you will have more information than in the first phase, and you make a build-up. Another element of time that is important when designing a campaign is the frequency at which you post on your Facebook, on your Twitter. Is it going to be a daily thing? Is it going to be a weekly thing? Now, of course, again, one needs to make these decisions, and one needs to what they call an editorial plan. You need to say, I'm going to post on my social media every so many days. And why? And then again, at what time of day, at what time of week? This depends on your audience, on what you want to do, on what you want to gain from your social media campaign. When it comes to variety, if you want to make the campaign in different phases and you want to have a variety in your content, it could be important that although you change the variety so that your audience is not bored with you always showing the same pictures, always showing the same style of text, it is tricky because at the same time you need to keep the same corporate identity, the same corporate look, so that if someone sees your post, one immediately knows that it is part of that campaign. So the idea is to balance between varying your content on a social media campaign and have continuity at the same time. Timing is also at a seasonal level. I remember once we were shooting some videos for a technological university, for an online university, and we were asked to have jacket and tie, no pullover, and no t-shirt. Why? Because your content sometimes cannot be seasonal, but at times it can be seasonal. If you are promoting something that is will be in winter, and you know that the feeling of winter and cold will help your campaign, then in that case you need to fit in with your season, with the seasonal color, with the seasonal message, both in content and in what you show and what you say. Calculate in what season your content is going to be seen. Is it going to be seen and then become obsolete once you finish your campaign, or do you want your content to be perennial? Whenever they see it, it's still fresh. So in that case, calculate about your image, what you say, and the tone that you use as well. If you are promoting an event, I learned from experience, you will always be criticized. It is never perfect. People will tell you, you are reminding me about this event 2 months ahead. It is too early. Others tell you, if I only knew before, I would not have planned another event, that's why I could not come. So you will always be imperfect because in the end, a social media campaign is made by humans for humans. So you will always be criticized, but do some homework first. Something I learned from experience is sometimes you say, let me promote the event way ahead of time so that people if they are interested, they will block the day, which would be happening in an ideal world. But the thing is, some people can get bored, and sometimes when you are campaigning way ahead of time of the event, sometimes you do not have all the information. So you risk at being in a position where you are campaigning or promoting an event, but at the same time you have vague content. Because you don't know maybe the venue yet, you don't know the exact program. So it is a mix. Maybe when you are promoting an event way ahead, unless it's a big concert and the lineup is known even sometimes more than 1 year ahead. If you don't have this information very early, you just give a teaser maybe, but do not bore your audience before the event is getting closer. If it is a campaign that you are informing or campaigning for to raise awareness about something, it is important that you anyway, although the awareness, let's say about poverty will always be with us, and your content will always be relevant in all contexts. There is no society without the poor people, and there is no world without the poor. However, it is important that anyway you make a period of time and you plan your campaign, because when you don't plan your campaign, you lose energy. You don't have a destination. When you have, say, a 3-month campaign to raise awareness about something, create your content way ahead, plan what is going to come out and when, at what time of day, at how frequent, how different, how varied. All these come into play, but always set a time when your campaign is starting and ending. The last element of time that I would mention is the length. Today, as we are all aware, people do not read, they prefer watching. Especially now the trend is towards being live on social media. In that case, how long should your content be? If you are sending a political message, if your blog or your video is a journalistic one, make sure the video needs to balance between not being too long and explaining everything. If it is an online lesson, plan the timing of the lesson. Say I'm going to be not more than 5 minutes, 15 minutes, etc., depending on the context. Your video, if you see that your video is quite long, make a trailer. Flow to the trailer first and create some expectation. Again, do not flow to the trailer months ahead or weeks ahead. Just to create the expectation, people will want to watch it more. Plan. Make a plan, put it in your diary so that you know the frequency way ahead. Always ask a critical friend, especially if you are working in a small organization where you make all the decisions. Never work on your own. And watch what others do.